by having the Police Public Relations Officer Odiko Macdon joining us on the People's Parliament this morning. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the People's Parliament.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, this morning we called to draw your attention to the issue in Mbo local government area between Uko-Nteghe Uda and Akpan Enwang communities. How aware is the command of this situation, and what is the update in terms of how you are reacting?
The command is aware of the developments there, and the command has taken steps to ensure that we can restore normalcy. So far, we can confirm 2 deaths, and we believe that with what has been done so far, by way of engagements, interface, I believe that normalcy, with agreements reached as at yesterday after the stakeholders meeting, where the SSG was there and other stakeholders, I think that in no distant time, normalcy will be fully restored. But as an agency, we did our best. We are still doing our best. We will continue to do our best to ensure that every part of this state remains secure, and we can continue to pride ourselves as one of the most peaceful states. One of the very first things the command did was to first assess or appraise the situation on ground. And the CP, in his wisdom, in his very operational manner, was very swift in responding to that crisis by deploying men to the scene. And that's why the crisis, as it were, didn't escalate beyond the level. If not, it would have really been very much more serious than it is. One wonders how neighboring communities, brothers and sisters, will turn themselves into hunting grounds. And so, as it stands, our men are still on ground, our boots are on ground, and we will continue to dominate the space, public space, and the violent space until we see that full normalcy has been restored.
Now, the community appreciates the personnel sent to contain this escalation of the crisis, but there is a complaint by those who are reaching us from these communities. They're saying that your men sent to the area are not between the boundary between Uko-Nteghe and Enwang, that they are at the end of the bridge and Enwang junction, and that is not helping in covering the space where these killings are actually carried out, especially in the night. Are you aware of this?
I will not be surprised. I will not be taken aback. Whatever is being said, that's because people are quick to only say that which they feel will favor them. Every part of the crisis area is being dominated by our men. Security is not done by perception. It is not how you want it to be that we are meant to do it. We have our SOPs, our standard operating procedures, our operational procedures that we follow. We have our modus operandi. We do not need to be where you want us to be. The focal point will be, or fundamentally, the question will be, have we been able to contain the spread? Have we been able to checkmate an incident that would have ab initio escalated? The fundamental question is, are we on ground? Yes. We deployed at strategic places, at different places, at both communities, at both boundary points. We do not necessarily need to be where whoever is feeding you with that information wants us to be. But we are there, and we will continue to be there until this whole thing is over. And our efforts have yielded so much results. And that's why we're realizing that we can't do it alone. That's why we called on the political class. That's why we called on the traditional rulers, the traditional class, and all critical stakeholders for all hands to be on deck so that we will be able to resolve the lingering impasse.
I want to thank you very much for the explanation on the People's Parliament, and more grace, we say, to you in what you're doing to bring peace between Uko-Nteghe and Enwang.
And that's not the only place we have. We've also raised concern about the situation at Okobo, though Okobo is peaceful now, and we hope that that trend continues. As an agency, we only want to be in communities, only to maintain law and order and to resolve little minor things. People must realize the need to live peacefully in communities. People must realize that, look, the next door neighbor, the next door community is a brother, is a sister. Above all, the people have a right to exist. They have the right to life. And so life should not be taken for any reason except as enshrined in the Constitution. So much more needs to be done to ensure that we continue to live very peacefully. As an agency, we will continue to do everything within our constitutional mandates to ensure that we continue to provide for the good people of Akpan State the needed security. Thank you for having me.
Bye.